Hi friends, can you believe it? Today we're already on commandment number 8 of God's 10 commandments found in Exodus chapter 20. Today we're going to be learning about do not steal. Well, it might sound like a bunch of rules. Don't do this, don't do that. But actually it's about learning how to be generous like God is generous towards us. And so it's not so much all the big old list of rules. Think of them more like road signs that are helping us know which way to go and what's coming ahead and what's going to be best.
Something I would never want stolen from me is my four-wheeler. I put so much time into getting the money to be able to buy that, and me and my brother have so much fun riding it on the trails.
We're learning that it would be hurtful if someone stole from us, and so that means it would be hurtful if we steal from somebody else. We're learning about not stealing. But if we just allow ourselves to do it even one time, it can kind of get out of control. Let me give you an example. Let's say that I really want something, somebody else's iPhone, just to borrow, or somebody's cool new shoes, or even their snack. And I might be tempted, but let's just say that me letting go of this rock is just allowing myself one time to kind of take something that isn't mine. I wonder what'll happen. Well, oh, stop! Oh my goodness. Wow, that thing just kept on going. What in the world? Why do you think that is? Why do you think it might be hard to stop stealing once we start? What happened with that rock was something that's called momentum. It gets building and it's hard for it to stop. That's why we don't want to start it in the first place. So, boys, after the story, then it's going to be snack time. And Micah, you're going to be the keepers of the goldfish for now. And then you hold on to them, and at the end, we'll have snack. Okay. So today's Bible story is about a guy named Judas. Now, you probably know him as Judas Iscariot, the one who betrayed Jesus, but there's more to his story than just that. There's more that led up to it. He was one of the 12 disciples. He was one of the guys who was really close to Jesus. He was actually the guy in charge of the money. So if someone ran out of sandals and they had to repair, or they needed to buy food, he was the guy with the money bag. So he would pay for the food. So he'd take it, pay for it. So he was in charge. But there was a little bit of a problem. You see, Judas was a thief. And how do you think the other disciples felt if they had known that Judas was stealing the money? It's probably their money. They probably pooled it all together, put their funds together, like you and Micah do sometimes. Yeah. But he stole, and that goes against today's commandments. We don't steal. So I want to take you to John chapter 12. It's in the New Testament, verses 1 through 3 to start. 6 days before the Passover, Jesus therefore came to Bethany, where Lazarus was. Remember, the one who Jesus raised from the dead? So they gave a dinner for him there. Martha served, and Lazarus was one of those reclining with him at the table, one of his buddies, right? Mary therefore took a pound of expensive ointment made from pure nard and anointed the feet of Jesus and wiped his feet with her hair. The house was filled with the fragrance of the perfume. Wow, so that must have been pretty amazing. Wow. But let's see what Judas said. One of his disciples, who's about to betray him, said, "Why was that ointment not sold for 300 denarii and given to the poor?" That's what he said. But do you believe that that was Judas's real reason for being upset? Why or why not? Any thoughts? Let's keep reading. He said this not because he cared about the poor, but because he was a thief, and having charge of the money bag, he used to help himself to what was put in it. Yikes. That is not good, not good. We don't want to steal. It messes with our hearts and it messes with other people. Judas didn't care about the poor. He cared that the woman was wasting expensive perfume, and he'd rather have the money. He wanted the money. Micah, we're not quite done with our story, but I'm wondering, how's our snack doing there?
Where's my snack?
Someone else has been helping themselves to the bag? Okay, Daniel, I'm gonna go ahead and let you hold a new bag for now. Okay, the story continues just a little bit though. We want to look at it from Mary's point of view too. Hey, Mary's point of view, let's see. Well, we know that Judas's heart was greedy and self-centered because he was stealing money for himself. But what about Mary's heart? Let's consider the story from her point of view, okay? Well, Judas was focused on what?
Money.
Helping himself to the money bag, right? But how would you describe Mary's heart?
Pure.
It was. She did have a pure heart. God really transformed her. Mary was generous, super generous. Did you know that that perfume was so expensive that it could have paid for about 1 year of a person's salary, what they made for a year to provide for their family? That's a pretty expensive perfume. Yeah. But Mary was generous. She did what was the opposite of stealing. She could have kept the perfume or sold the perfume. It was hers to begin with. But why do you think she gave up the perfume? Do you remember why? What did she use it for?
To anoint Jesus.
Yeah, to anoint Jesus. She used it on Jesus. She was worshiping Jesus. She gave it generously because of her love for God, because she had experienced the love of God herself, and she was giving love back. Giving that love back to God that she loved so much because she had God's love. So, as an act of worship, Mary wanted to worship Jesus, so she gave generously. And here's what Jesus said. Leave her alone so that she may keep it for the day of my burial. For the poor you'll always have with you, but you do not always have me. He commended her. He blessed her in doing what she did in that generosity that she had. So.
It's good.
That's good.
Hey, Mike, you want some goldfish?
Yeah.
Here, you can have some.
I'm so glad you're still willing to share and be generous. Could I have some?
Of course.
Oh, man, thank you.
Could I have some?
Of course. I think Morris the Moose wants to say hi to y'all.
Hi!
Hi! How are you, Morris?
I'm pretty good. My stomach is growling though.
Oh, why is that? Did you forget to eat breakfast this morning?
No, I just saw that my brother has a box of nutty bars in his room, and I kind of want one.
Oh.
Do any of you have a favorite treat?
Well, I know you do. It's nutty bars, isn't it? Yeah. Did you ask your brother if he's willing to maybe share some with you?
No, he's playing in the woods right now. I was thinking about sneaking in and taking just one. I doubt he'd even notice. He has a whole box. What do you think? Should I do it?
I hope you guys have some advice for Morris. Come on, tell him. Morris, today we're learning about do not steal. Does that help answer your question?
What if I just take a bite?
I think that's still taking something that belongs to someone else without asking.
I guess it would be wrong.
Yeah, it is one of God's commandments not to steal.
I wonder why God says we shouldn't steal.
Well, would you like it if you went into your room and you noticed something was missing? It was gone.
No way!
Yeah, your treat would be missing. You wouldn't like that at all. When we steal, it feels yucky for us and for the people we steal from.
Okay, I'm not gonna take it, but I am going to ask him if he'll share.
I think that's a great idea. But one little hint, still be kind to your brother even if he decides not to share with you though.
Thanks for helping me. Think about this. I gotta go. I hear my brother coming back.
Okay, bye Morris. So remember Mary and the expensive perfume or ointment that she gave generously to Jesus? Well, how about you? What's a way that you can be generous this week? Maybe it's being generous with your time and taking that time to help your mom and dad with something. Or maybe it's in making a card or painting a picture if you like art. Maybe it's drawing something or writing something and sending it in the mail to somebody. Have your parents help you address it and send it off to somebody. Or maybe still, some of you still have some Easter candy left. Doubt it. Or a fun snack that maybe you have. What about sharing some of it? You probably have some of your own ideas too. But remember, a good way to not be tempted to take something that isn't ours is to have a thankful heart and a heart that is generous and sharing instead. Bless you guys. Have a great week.